I'm Mike Sherman, and we're going Thunder cover with Darnell Mayberry. Darnell's out in Los Angeles, preparing for coverage of Game 3 of the Western Conference semifinal series between the Lakers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. And Darnell, Game 2 in Oklahoma City, 77-75. Thunder pulls out a great victory, especially in the last 2 minutes. What about those last 2 minutes really sticks with you?
The offense and the way it really picked up in the last 2 minutes was awfully impressive. The Thunder had only scored 20 points in the first 20 minutes of the second half, and then in the last few minutes they really erupted and turned defensive stops into offensive makes. They got 9 points in the last 2 minutes, and I just think that the way that they showed maturity and poise down the stretch to be able to continue to stick with it when nothing really was going right in the second half, that was awfully impressive. I think it showed maturity for this young Thunder team.
Is there any one of those plays, though, that sticks out the most? I mean, KD's steal was big. The tip pass that Westbrook had that went off Kobe's hands, and then James Harden's play, block in the corner. Any one of those you feel like was more important than another one?
No, I don't. I think all of them were extremely necessary for the Thunder to pull out that victory. And as a matter of fact, if you don't get any of those, if you don't get one of those three, there's a chance the Thunder might not have won that game. So you have to credit everyone involved on all of those plays that they did what they needed to do to come out with that win.
Came down to the last shot for the Lakers, Darnell. In some ways, kind of eerily similar to Game 6 of the 2010 first-round series between the Lakers and the Thunder. Same basket, similar setting, very different outcome. Can you talk about how that last sequence went down?
I thought the Thunder defended it extremely well. I think you have to give them credit and start there. Thabo Sefolosha denied Kobe Bryant the ball and wouldn't let Metta World Peace throw it into him. So he had to go to a secondary option, and that was Steve Blake in the corner. And fortunately for the Thunder, they got a little lucky because Russell Westbrook fell asleep and came off of Steve Blake, leaving him wide open in the corner. And unfortunately for Blake, he wasn't able to make that shot. But fortunately for the Thunder, he missed it, and the Thunder got out of there with a 2-0 series lead.
Westbrook closed awfully fast for being a guy who didn't even see the player behind him. What was he looking at?
I think he was looking at Kobe Bryant preparing to come off of sort of a back screen. I think they had some action behind the initial play that they were trying to look for, and maybe a lob pass to Kobe Bryant toward the bucket. If you remember, the Thunder was only ahead by 1, so a two-pointer would have won it. They didn't need a 3. Two-pointer would have put them up, and I think Kobe Bryant was looking for a lob pass from Metta World Peace. But, again, the Thunder defended that well, and they were close to a 5-second count, so Metta World Peace had to do something to get it in. I think Russell Westbrook was just sort of looking over and trying to cheat a little bit and defend Kobe Bryant in help position, and he just sort of made a little bit of a mistake, and again, Steve Blake just couldn't make the shot.
A lot of interesting things about that last Lakers possession, Darnell. You've referenced some of them. Thabo fights through a double screen at the free throw line and trails Kobe just by a little bit. Serge Ibaka shifts over to help and makes that pass all the way over on the weak side. Looked very difficult to make, but there was 5 seconds left in the game, and usually what you see is the guy they want to get the ball breaks towards the ball. Why do you think the Lakers did it the way they did?
Well, I think you have to give Mike Brown credit for drawing it up the way that he did. He ran some screens for Kobe Bryant to get open. The Thunder just really defended it well, and Thabo Sefolosha, again, you have to give him credit for it, because if he didn't defend him as tightly as he did, Kobe Bryant probably could have squirted free toward the ball, caught the pass, and made an amazing one-on-one play like we've seen him do so many times in the past, and probably won that game for the Lakers. But the Thunder, again, their defense on that final play was just fantastic. Just one lapse by Russell Westbrook. With the exception of that, I think you have to give the Thunder a lot of credit. They defended it extremely well.
Darnell, you made a lot of great points about the Thunder's defense down the stretch, including the near 5-second call. Remember, the Lakers had to take a timeout previously because it looked like there was some concern they might not get it in the first time. So whether they went back and drew up another play or not, we won't know. But nevertheless, defense really spurred on that 2-minute flurry that the Thunder used to win the game. Where does this one rank among the most impressive statement wins for this franchise?
I think it's right at the top of the list. When you consider the fact that the Thunder had all the pressure on them, they have home court advantage now. They're expected to make it to the NBA Finals. They're expected to beat the Los Angeles Lakers, whereas 2 years ago, the Lakers were the heavy favorite over the young Thunder. So all the pressure was on the Thunder going into the game two, especially given the fact that they had just blown out the Lakers by 29 in game one. Everyone expected the Lakers' best shot in game two. They got the Lakers' best shot, and they still came out and pulled out a victory, and they did it by closing out the Lakers with a 9-0 run down the stretch. Kevin Durant had an amazing performance, scoring 5 of those points, getting the steal in the transition fast break dunk. So just an incredible performance by the Thunder. I think it's right at the top of the list.
Some of the cagey plays they made down the stretch in that game were being made against them last year in the playoffs, in the last 2 playoffs, in fact, by the Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks. It's interesting, Darnell. Now, though, the series shifts to Los Angeles. You're out there where Game 3 will be played 9:30 Friday night, Oklahoma time, and again Game 4 9:30 Saturday, Oklahoma time. But what's the mood out there, and how does this series change as it shifts to LA?
Well, I think the Lakers said it after Game 2 that they look at it as the Thunder protected their home court, and now the Lakers have to do the same inside the Staples Center. If they do that, they feel like they're still in this series, and they come back to Oklahoma City for Game 5 at 2 games apiece. But I think that's a tough task for the Lakers because they did everything that they needed to do to win that game in Game 2, and they weren't able to do it. And if you remember, the Thunder has played the Lakers well inside Staples Center this year. They were unable to get the second win, but that was only because James Harden was knocked out of the second half in both overtimes after the Metta World Peace elbow. Had they had James Harden in that game, I think the Thunder would have gone on to win that game and had the confidence of a 2-0 regular season series sweep of the Lakers inside Staples Center under their belt. But I still think they're confident going in, knowing that they played the Lakers well inside Staples Center. So I see the Thunder being able to get one of these 2 games, especially because it's a back-to-back, and that's not good for the Lakers, who are an older team with Kobe Bryant. His legs didn't look so good to me last night in Game 2. So I think that a back-to-back and the playoff situation is going to be tough on the Lakers.
Thanks, Darnell. That's all for this edition of Thunder Cover with Darnell Mayberry.